Hello.
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 Oh, more people admit. Whew.
Did you have a chance to go pick up those masks, Anika?
I did. I have them.
Good.
They're awesome.
Like I said, I have some aside just in case we need some personalized.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to figure out, because I know we have staff at the center that wants them, and I'm going to talk to the group tonight too and
Yeah,
see
let's
how
see
many
who.
we
Yeah,
have. And
I figured that's what you were waiting for.
yeah, and Lisa made a bunch too, and I'm trying to figure out, is Lisa here? Mindy, do you know if the masks that she made, are those for all of your volunteers?
No, those are for LOCs.
Oh, fantastic.
We made
We got
40 of
staff
them.
and LOC. Perfect. We got
Yeah.
everybody covered between the two of
Sweet.
you. And fantastic. There was a, oh, here comes Lisa. Speaking of Lisa. Okay. Gosh, you'd think I'd be better at driving Zoom by now. When I have a large group, I still like trip up a little bit.
Do you want it to be muted? Just leave it.
All right, a couple more people coming in here. And I also had touched base with a bunch of people that couldn't make it tonight. So we'll get going. I'll wait another minute and we'll get going. If everybody can just put, I don't know why I'm not able to mute everybody, but if you can put yourself on mute, that way we don't get background noise. And then you can use the chat feature, or just remember to unmute yourself. If I'm chatting away and you want to get my attention, just unmute yourself and say, hey, Danica, wait. Okay, I got Lori coming in. Okay. Looking good. Well, according to the countdown clock on dempseychallenge.org, we have 16 days and 15 hours left until the in-person challenge. Woohoo! It's time. It is go time. I felt so good at the beginning of the week on Tuesday because I spent the entire weekend and Monday just like cranking on work and just trying to make sure we got everything under control. And I was officially 100% caught up on Monday, which quickly turned into not being caught up on Tuesday. So I'm learning very quickly that the Dempsey Challenge, as you all know, is quite the beast. But it's exciting. Okay, great. And we got Joyce. We lost Joyce, but she's coming back in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out. Here comes, hold on. We got Sue coming in. If I, Karen, you can remind me of this. If I hide the participants list, something will pop up on my screen if somebody's trying to get in, right?
That I don't know, but I can help.
It should say somebody's in the waiting room.
Right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm gonna just hide it and I think hope for the best. I'm gonna close this. Okay. All right. So lots to go over tonight. So I'll just get going. And I know I do a lot of talking in these meetings. So if you have a question, don't just go ahead and jump in on me. I will try to remember and be mindful to ask and pause every once in a while. It's not one of my greatest strengths. I don't love silence. I like to talk a lot. So if you have a question, go ahead and stop me. I give you full permission to yell at me. Okay, first I thought I would go over our numbers right now and just kind of share fundraising and participant numbers and all of that. So I'm going to do a quick screen share. Okay, share, I'm going to go here. Okay. So here is where we are. And this report is as of 9/6. So a couple of days ago, it's already jumped up from now. But what I do with this report is I pull from 2019 so we can see, compare apples to apples from the last in-person event to this year. And then we have our 2020 virtual event in the middle to kind of help gauge where we've been and where we're going. So as of 9/6, we have 1,587 participants. It's up above 1,600 now, I believe. And you can see, so we're still quite under by quite a lot as far as participation is concerned, which was to be expected this year with everything going on. Fundraising, this number is already up higher than that as well, but fundraising is on fire. It is just unbelievable. If you look 9/6 in 2019 with 2,300 participants, our fundraising was just over 500,000. And this year, with like 1,600 participants, we were at nearly, 800, closing in on 800,000. So this year's goal is 1.5. So that means we're 55% to goal. Our goal is to hit 1 million by September 15th. So we are hopeful that we are going to do that. So really excited there. The numbers break down. We have 520 people who are virtual participants this year compared to 2019 where we had 146 the same time. So that's awesome. That just means 520 people. And I'll remind you, virtual participants this year actually have a registration fee. They have to pay $50 to register as a virtual participant this year, where in 2019, it was a free registration. So to me, that really speaks to the work we did in 2020 with the virtual event. So that's pretty exciting to see. And we have just over, we're right at about 1,100 right now coming in person for the weekend of. I suspect that we will have a jump the next few weeks in the number, but we're anticipating about 1,000 participants for the run walk and about 500 riders for the weekend. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. That's where we're seeing the trend is going. So another one of our goals that we talk about every year are the number of teams. Obviously that's down because the number of participants are down. So that's not a surprise here. So all of these numbers aren't really a surprise. However, I do want to point out, this is my favorite number to talk about. Our goal this year was to raise the average per participant raised. Our goal was actually $400 average. And right now our participants are raising $506.93 per participant. So we are crushing that goal at 127% to goal. It's really exciting. And you can see what's been done in the past. So really, I think strategy in the past has always been, we need more participants, we need more participants, we need more participants. When in actuality, we're creating fundraisers, which is fantastic with all the engagement that we've done. Okay, go ahead. Go. Daddy will be home in a second. Every time. No, honey, I'm on a meeting. I'll be right with you. And then actually, Karen, you want to kind of take over and I'll go take her to the bathroom, just kind of talking about the rest of the stuff. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Sure.
Thank
I'm happy to. So left off at per average raise per participant, 506. My personal goal that we've talked about internally was 500. So I am I'm thrilled. It's so exciting to see. Team average, our goal is 5,000 and we're just shy of 4,000, which is fantastic, 78% there. Number of champions, we're up to 47. It might even be a few more than that right now. So those are our 3,000 plus fundraisers. We had more than ever last year and we decided, hey, we'll try to up it again this year. So our goal was 9, so we're a little over halfway there. And then our sponsor teams is another group that we've focused on a lot this year, trying to see what we could do to get our sponsor teams more engaged. Of course, they already give us sponsorship dollars, which is wonderful. And to tie them into the event a little bit more closely, we wanted them to create teams and participate in the event. So we're doing really well with that. Also, some of our biggest teams are our sponsors, which is exciting to see.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate you taking over.
I'll pinch hit for you anytime, Danica, no worries.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, so clearly amazing fundraising. We're closing in. We're so hopeful that 1.5 is going to hit. Those of you who don't know, we did just host our second Double the Donation Day, and those have been unbelievable in the fundraising efforts because participants can fundraise and then potentially get a match right on their fundraising page. So it makes their fundraising go really far. Those have been super popular. We're working hard to get a third one by Dempsey Challenge weekend. So more to come on that. Hopefully that will happen. Next, I wanted to let you know that the schedule has been posted. Let me go on here. Where did my Zoom call go? There we go. Let me just quickly show you on the website. So that way, if you want to navigate, you can see it yourself. So on our website, you can get it a couple of different ways. It's under the About menu, under Event Schedule, or if you just scroll down to some of these big boxes, you'll see Event Schedule right here. So if you click on that, this is all of, it doesn't include like anything that you have to have an invitation to go to. This is just like the schedule for in-person from the public facing side. So I have it broken down into Dempsey Challenge Week. So we have a lot of social media campaigns that are happening the week before challenge for our global participants. So we have the week before, then we have the local Dempsey Challenge schedule for Saturday, the local Dempsey Challenge schedule for Sunday, and then our overall global Dempsey Challenge. So all of the virtual elements to the weekend. So, I mean, essentially we really are planning 2 events at the same time. So there's a lot to do there, but you can take a look. So these, I won't spend too much time on this. You can check it out yourself, but these are all the different social media and virtual activations and things we're asking people to do throughout the week. So if you do follow social media, you'll see, for instance, we'll post on Monday. We invite you to, make a post to our virtual honor wall, which, if you remember from last year, it's a place you can go where you can upload a picture and share your story or put something in someone's memory or in somebody's honor. So that's open now and people can start posting already. And then we've got, so you can go through all of these different actions, but for your purpose, I'm going to focus in on the schedule for Saturday and Sunday. So again, the way it's working this year is everybody's bibs are going to be mailed ahead of time. We just met with Mindy and Lisa, who is running point on that whole process, which is a new process this year. So people are going to get in the mail, they're going to get their all of their bibs, information about the weekend, how the flow is going to work. So essentially, when they get to the park, they will have everything they need to actually just start the event. I'll go through more of the flow in a minute when I share the map, but at this point, they technically should have everything they need. If they don't, let's say Susie Q forgot her bib on the kitchen counter, we will have we're calling it the customer service tent. It's actually going to be outside of the venue, right across the street from the parking garage. I'll show you on the map when we get there, but that's going to open at 7 a.m. So if somebody needs to get a bib or they have a question about something, they can head there. Also, we're going to have a bag valet that will open at 7:30 inside the park. Caroline and Danny are going to be doing bag drop on Saturday, as well as bag and bike valet on Sunday in the park. So we'll open up about half an hour before the race itself starts, or excuse me, the run walk starts. And then this is when we start the actual event. So people can start taking the course at 8 a.m. So all of our 10K runners are open start time anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. So, you know, if people come into the park, they want to meet up with a teammate, you know, they can come into the park, meet up with a teammate, and then immediately go to the course anytime between 8 and 9. We're really trying to rely on randomness of people for gathering purposes to help us spread people out in that start area. And then our open start time for the run walk will be, the 5K portion will be 9:30 to 10:30. So what will happen is people will be coming into the park at all kind of different times for both the start and the celebration end. It's really about controlling the flow at the start. That way we can really focus in on the celebration area at the end. Nothing in the park will actually be open. None of the tents are going to be open. Merch won't be open. Food and beverage won't be open. Everything will be closed except for the Poland Spring hydration station, which is their big giant truck that they're going to bring. Aroma Joe's will be open for coffee in the morning, their coffee truck. And what else? I think that's it. That is it. There might be a couple of photo wall appointments, which we'll go over as well in the morning. But other than that, everything is closed down. And that's really to just encourage people to just start. We want people starting. Go, 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 go. So here are all the different festival in the park features. We've got our food and beverage. We have our main craft beer and wine garden, the merch tent, the photo wall, which is actually, if I click on this, teams can start registering for this now. We have communications that are going out this week. But essentially it's this backdrop. It's going to be a nice 20-foot backdrop with some staging in the front that teams can register to have a professional picture taken of them. So that'll be a really nice new feature in the park. And then we have our mission walk, which I've described to you before. That'll be kind of down along the river near where the amphitheater or the homemade amphitheater is. And then we have our incentive tent where people can pick up their incentives after the event rather than before. It's kind of nice. And we will have live music starting at 10 o'clock or 9:45 on Saturday, right up until the awards presentation, which will happen at noon. That's all of our fundraising awards, our top award winners and our team winners that will take place noon on Saturday. Any questions about Saturday's schedule? Sorry, my daughter was yelling at me again. Okay, so on to Sunday. So same type of flow, same exact setup that we're going with. We want people coming in, you know, dealing with, you know, maybe meeting team members in the park, but that's really it. We want them to clip and go. And so customer service tent on Oxford Street will open at 6:30 in preparation for folks coming in. And then bag and bike opens at 7, and our open start times for all of the cycling routes start at 7:30. 25, 50, 65, and 100 mile. Doesn't matter what mileage they are. They can just start anytime between 7:30 and 9:30 in that nice 2-hour window period. So some of the feedback we've gotten already is people are kind of excited about this. It's a weird concept. It's not something that we've done before because there's no like actual gun start, but it kind of allows you to take your time in the morning. You can wait for your teammates. You can get, you know, do what you need to do and then get out on the course, you know, and if you have your plan for the day and you are an early bird, you can start right away. Otherwise, you know, if you're not an early bird, you can start later. So people are kind of liking that and not having to wait in the start chute for so long. And then it's just a rinse and repeat from there. The only difference between Saturday and Sunday is that we have the Patriots game broadcast at 1 o'clock. If you remember in 2019, we did do that broadcast inside the big giant food tent. So that's obviously a little bit different. We're not going to have people in a giant food tent this year, but we are going to put the game on the main stage. So everybody will be able to see it as we wait for the cyclists to come in and celebrate what we're doing. And then this is the Global Dempsey Challenge piece. You can take a look at that on your own. But again, it's just different elements that we're offering from a virtual standpoint as well as the in-person standpoint. Any questions about the event schedule? Oh, I see some chats. Let's see. When do you get bibs get picked up? So bibs are actually getting
We're good.
mailed.
We're good.
Oh, we're good.
I was
look at you.
answering
Good
as
job,
you were
good job.
talking.
Oh, you're so good. Thank you.
No problem.
Lori, I feel your pain on so many different levels. 2-year-old on the loose being watched by a 12-year-old. That's about right, except mine's 5. So 5 and 12. So I get you. All right, so moving on to my agenda. Where am I at? Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the park map. We're on version 16, and I think we're pretty much where we're gonna be at this point. So let me give you, I wanna make sure that you are understanding the flow of the park this year. Okay, so I'm gonna start from like you're a participant coming in. So if you see where we're at here, here's the station restaurant, which used to be what, rails. And so down this area where my mouse is where the parking garage is. So as people are kind of walking from the parking garage and they're walking towards the venue up Lincoln Street, they will see this tent right here. It's a 20 by 40 tent right on the corner of Lincoln and Beach. And oh, you know what? I gotta fix that because I think I put Oxford Street on the event schedule. So I'll fix that. But in any event, so this area is where our former troubleshooting, or what we knew as troubleshooting, will be. It's going to serve 2 purposes. Half of the tent will be Karen Page and Trisha. Those of you who know Trisha from the center, they will be dealing with bibs, anything that has to do with a bib. Either they got the wrong bib, or they forgot their bib, or they show up when they didn't meet their fundraising minimum and they're showing up to get their bib to run and walk even though they're not supposed to. They'll be dealing with all of those things on that side. Oh, thanks, honey. And then on the other side of the tent, it will be donation collection. So if people happen to bring additional donations, cash and check donations, they need a drop spot, they'll be able to drop donations there. Volunteers will be out there kind of navigating and helping people along the way, asking a lot of questions. You know, are you all set? What do you need? Do you need a bib? What are you doing? They'll help triage the crowd. And so the crowd will come in down Beach Street and they'll do one of 2 things. They have everything they need, shoes on, bib on, ready to go, and they'll either go right to the start chute and start the course, or they want to meet up with some team members, they want to fill their water bottle, they need to maybe go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be. They can come into the park, but like I said, everything will be shut down in the park except for this small area right here towards the front of the park. So when you come in, if you're familiar with the setup from years past, merch has not moved. So merch is still right there on the right when you walk in. And we will have this blue box right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So as you walk in, you'll see the Aroma Joe's coffee truck. We tried to put everything that people would want in the morning right away, right when you walk in. So coffee trailers right there. This is that elevated platform that we usually have the Amanda Dempsey Award presentation on from the past. The announcer is going to be set up. That's going to be Lee, Nelson, and Cindy. They're going to be up there kind of directing the crowd and helping everybody understand how things are working this year. Really essentially being like, okay, 10Kers, get out there, time to go. So we have the coffee trailer, and then down here, finish line is the same place as it was in 2019, coming right over the bridge, right into the park. Bag and bike valet is right here, or here's our medical tent. And then right by the finish line will be Poland Springs hydration station, the big truck. And it's a new truck this year with contactless fill. So you can like go in and it's like all motion activated. So nobody has to touch anything, which is great. And yeah, so that's essentially the only things that are open in the morning. And then come 9 o'clock, that's when the party starts. That's when we'll start seeing our first runners back from the 10K. And so keep going in the park. Volunteer check-in is next to the merch tent. So volunteer check-in, there'll be signage everywhere, but volunteer check-in will be back here, and they will, oh no, I lied. Volunteer check-in is right when you walk in this 10 by 10, sorry. Volunteer food and just like, I need a reprieve for 10 minutes or whatever the case may be is back here. We'll have snacks, coffee, water. That will be behind the incentive tent in like a hidden wall. The incentive tent is where folks will pick up all of their fundraising incentives. We will have Wicked Bean Maine slippers on site, so that should be really fun. They'll be able to grab their slippers that day. And then moving along, this is the LO Bean boot truck that we'll have here. Specialized will be set up as usual. These are food trucks. There's 4 right now, but we actually only have 2 food trucks. He just stuck in 4 to keep the space if need be. We have Portland Pie company who's sending their food truck, and PB and Me, and both will be serving breakfast items as well as a variety of other items than you would normally think that they would do. So they're really helping us with food service this year, which is fantastic. So food trucks. And then as we come forward, this is the Central Maine Healthcare tent. So this is sort of like where the entry to the kid zone was in the past. This is now Central Maine Healthcare is the sponsor of the Mission Walk, which is that new feature that we have in the park, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But folks can enter into that area from here, which I'll go over in a minute. Next to that is our new giant photo wall that we talked about. So Lori, Joyce, you guys will be set up here. So you'll see that nice big backdrop pretty much right when you walk in, which is fantastic. Across from the food trucks, in between the food trucks and the photo wall will be 3 different ID check stations. What we've tried to do to separate the crowd out a little bit away from the beer tent, we've moved the ID check away from the beverage area. So that way we have people just spreading out. So there'll be 3 different ID checks here in some 10 by 10 tents, along with purchasing tickets for the beer tent. Just so you know, and you're all aware, if people ask, we are not doing tickets to the participant food tent this year. In the past, you could purchase like an additional lobster trap ticket or an additional food tent ticket. We're not doing that this year. Participant tent food is just for participants. If anybody wants additional food, they'll have to purchase it from the food truck. Food has been a battle this year for sure. So the bottom line is we're feeding people, and that's what we're excited about. So moving up here. So this is a lot different than in the past, but this 20 by 60 tent is our beer garden. So it's going to be, there's 7 vendors, and they'll be kind of set up going all the way across. Allie and Eric are working on that flow. We've been meeting on how that flow is going to go, but essentially, just so you know who's involved this year, we have Fitvine Wine and Cupcake Wine doing mimosas this year, which is we did in 2019. People loved it. And then we also have Baxter, None Such Brewing, Gritty's, Side by Each, and Lone Pine for breweries this year. So those will all be in the tent. Here's some bathrooms. All those black squares are bathrooms. And then coming up here, we have our food service participant food area. So the front of this giant tent is service for food, where the back is the back of house for prep. And this is just parking. So there's one food service area here. And then next to it is a big tent with seats inside of the tent. There will also be a screen inside of this tent, which will be streaming whatever's going on into the main stage. This is the main stage where it's usually always at. We have another food service area. So we have 2 food service areas this year. It's serving the same exact thing in both tents. But again, we wanted to kind of spread people out. We met with Amy and Rachel, who are running point on that today, and they'll have volunteers kind of helping triage any crowding and making sure that people understand that there's 2 service tents this year as opposed to 1 place to go for food. And then we have another a seating area undercover. The rest of the seats that you see all here are just out underneath the sky without covering. So we will see lots of space for people to space out for sure. So that'll be good. Just one thing just to note on food, the way it's working, it's all grab and go style food this year. Essentially what will happen is a participant will come into the tent, they will get the bag, a little bag with handles, and then they can go in and grab a sandwich. Actually, they will be handed, they will say, would you like a banana? Yes, they will be handed the banana from gloved volunteers. So we have fruit, we have whoopie pies, we have donuts, we have Sam's Italians this year, Sam's short roll Italians. They'll be offered vegetarian ham or salami. And then on Sunday, we were able to secure lobster rolls. We will also be offering Sam's Italians on Sunday as well. So we don't have the full lobster trap like everybody knows, but we're pretty excited that we're able to offer lobster rolls, courtesy of Scott, who is going to be wrapping and making a ton of lobster rolls for us on Sunday. So we're really excited about that we were at least able to do that. Okay. And then just to wrap up the map here, this is that survivor celebration area that I was telling you about, the mission walk. So when you have some time, you'll definitely want to go check that out. There's all sorts of interactive elements that kind of go down this whole pathway, along with a lot of Dempsey Center client storyboards about programming and just overall information about the Dempsey Center and why we do the Dempsey Challenge. So that'll be a really nice addition to the park. So as you can see, it's pretty stripped down to what we used to have, but ultimately it will allow the space for people to safely socially distance and be able to celebrate at the end of a well-earned celebration after their event. Are there any questions about the map?
Not about the map, but Rod's wondering about the bags for the meal. And are they reusable? Are they from Musette?
Oh, they're just like a brown paper bag with a handle, like picture, I call them the Bath and Body Works bags. You know, it's just like that, just a brown paper bag with a handle. So that way it's at least a little bit easier to manage. I just gave a lot of information, but is this all kind of starting to come together for everybody? Are you envisioning how it's going to work and where all the different areas are?
Is it the same for the cycling the next day?
What's that?
Is it going to be the same the next day for cycling?
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Exactly. So the only difference is their start time is a half an hour earlier. They have that 2-hour window, 7:30 to 9:30. And then obviously the exception is the park's open until 1 on Saturday and then until the last rider is on Sunday. So we will have that Patriots game broadcast on Sunday starting at 1 o'clock. So we will have bands up until then, and then we'll have the Patriots game.
So the finish looks the same as it was back in 2019. And like, I'm sorry to be a broken record, but last meeting I mentioned, you're absolutely going to have volunteers pointing the way to the bike corral and or probably a 20-foot sign saying bike corral that way, because you just can't see it. Myself included, and then everyone that finished couldn't find the bike corral because they
just passed right by it.
saying that it's that way if you're looking for the bike corral. So I think it should be
And
the other side, but if not, we just absolutely need volunteers there.
Is Caroline or Danny on? I think they are. Are they on today?
They could both.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, did
okay,
you guys
great.
talk about that with Bob? I feel like there was a conversation about that. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, there was a conversation that kind of didn't go anywhere. It was kind of like, hey, it's where it's going to be. But
Okay.
I agree with what Rod's saying. Last year, we had a big challenge with people were going past us to then turn around and come back. Someone wiped out trying to turn around to come back. And it it wasn't really a problem for, I'd say, like 70% of the time, but there was a phase where there were so many people coming in that we were like log jamming up to the finish line. So
Okay.
we had asked if Bob could at least steer it more to the left and kind of get people to empty out from the finish line towards the park, so it would give them more room to turn around, and it would give the spectators more access to both sides, because the other problem was there was only one side of the finish line that fans could go to, because we occupied the other side of the finish line for the bike corral, so it
Gotcha.
became a little bit of a struggle. So at least if it can kind of aim to the left a little more, I think without the registration tent being right there, that should also be helpful for more corral space. But to Rod's point, any extra volunteers could really come in handy with pointing during that like 1 to 2 hour window when there's a lot of bikes coming in.
Okay. Is Donna on the call? She's not, huh? Donna or Chuck? Okay. So I had, I think like 10 to 15 positions of just festival and the park volunteers who basically we just tell them where to go when they show up. And there's going to be a couple of things. So I am going to reserve a couple of those spots and make sure that Donna knows that for that particular purpose. But additionally, I'm going to talk to Bob about shifting it down a little bit. Right now we have the medical tent in front of it. What are your thoughts about just swapping them? Like if medical's behind, is that weird?
I don't think so.
Like, where's the map? Time,
I think part of it is the quality of the finish. You want people to have a
right
positive
here.
finish, because that's what they remember. And then when they finish, they have to take care of their bike and pee and eat.
Yes.
If you've done 100 miles, like you say, I couldn't find the bike corral. I wouldn't have found it unless a volunteer pointed it out.
So even if I wonder if we just shifted like the everything down, like even moving the bathrooms here, because
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. If
You
the
know?
bag and bike tent was almost right above where those toilets are, and then medical tent moves, or really the medical tent kind of stay there. The toilets could go where that bag and bike tent is. And then if
just swap these two.
if behind those toilets and in between those trees, behind that elevated platform, if we can have that area staged off for the bike corral, that may be helpful.
Okay, I will talk to him about it and I will be firm.
I'm sorry, but like I say, it's like it's a hassle, and you want people to have a positive finish and just do what they got to do when they finish, and not have to wander around looking for the bike corral.
Okay.
I love that,
Perfect.
Rod, and I love that that is focused on the participant experience, not kind of
Yeah,
to us. And that's a
want them to come
good
back.
voice for us to have,
Yeah.
for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you for that feedback. I will work on that. We will work on that. Looks like we'll have a version 17 and that's okay. Okay. So where am I at? I have so many tabs open. Okay.
Oh, and Danica, real quick, the bag portion, are we still doing that over in the parking lot and then kind of doing like a modified shuttle? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Right in the park. You'll be parked exactly where you are on Sunday.
So Saturday and Sunday, they can come and drop bags off.
Yes,
Perfect.
Great question. Yeah, because originally we were gonna close the park down fully, but then we started talking. We're like, people are gonna want to meet up with their teams. What are they gonna try to wait on the street? So when we have this giant park where they could spread out, so that's why that was the change. Yeah.
One more quick note. I hate to belabor the moment, but if we just tweak where the bike corral is, it won't drain our resources of our volunteers quite as much, because for a volunteer to sit there for hours just pointing out where the bike corral is, when we could just change where it is, those volunteers could be doing other more meaningful, purposeful things. Sorry.
I just took note of that, Rod. Very well stated. I like that. Thank you. I'm going to work on that for you guys. Anything else in the areas that you guys saw on the map that you're like, ooh, I kind of see an issue with that, or I know Amy, we talked through the food and bev. I got your concerns, so we'll work through that. Anything else? Okay, great. And if something hits you, just let me know for sure. Okay, so I reviewed the map. Let's see, ancillary events. Yes, so just so you know, it's not on the schedule because it is an invitation only event. So Friday night is our survivor celebration. It is an invite only event simply because it's going to be really focused in on cancer survivorship and potentially people in treatment. So we want to limit that event. The invitations are going out this week to our Dempsey Center clients, our any Dempsey Challenge participant who has sort of marked themselves as a cancer survivor in the registration process, and then also sponsors are able to attend, but we are capping the event at 300 people. So I just wanted you to let you know that that is happening on Friday. But it will be the park will be pretty much locked down during that time. That is when our mission walk will be revealed at night. We'll have a luminary event as part of that, but you'll be able to see, we're going to be live streaming the Amanda Dempsey Award. So if you are interested in seeing any of that, we will be live streaming that. You can go on our Facebook page and see that. I think it's going to be on Instagram as well. So just wanted to let you know that. And we have our wonderful crew, Mary Ellen, Tracy, Abby, Chase, who are all on that committee. We've been working really hard to kind of hammer out those details, but I think it's going to be a really awesome night and a really great way to kick off challenge weekend. Is there anything you wanted to add? Anybody from that committee about the night that I didn't mention or something? Do you guys have any questions? I just wanted to check in with you guys and see how we're going. I know we have a meeting coming up, but how are you guys feeling?
Are you talking to us,
Yeah.
Danica? This is Mary Ellen. I think we're good. I think Tracy is on, but I think after your call with Abby last week and follow-up emails, I think we're good.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Tracy? Yeah.
I think we're set.
Good. Thank you guys so much. It's really coming together. I'm really anxious to reveal that. I think it's going to be a really awesome experience. So
Is
thank
anybody
you.
on this call committed to be there and like any LOC? So you'll be there. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we're good.
Yeah. Amy and Rachel might be in the park kind of setting up and preparing for the food and beverage area, but they'll be kind of off in their own little area.
Yeah, I'll be at the customer service tent in case people want to come by on Friday evening and avoid the rush of Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, so now I just figured we would check in with each of the different areas, see if there's any questions, how everybody's feeling, if there's any red flags that you want me specifically to know about, help with any communications with the medalist team, anything at all. So I will start with the routes themselves. John,
Can we pause just for a sec? There was a big question to the group. In the news, lots of events being canceled because of a surge. Is it possible this will be canceled?
I will say as of right now, the only way that we will be canceled is if the state shuts everything down. That is the only way it will be canceled. We're feeling very confident where we're at right now. Our participation is, about half of what we normally experience. We're an outdoor event and we're asking everybody to be masked. So even though a participant can remove their mask during their activity, that's when they'll be able to safely socially distance on the course. But as far as like being around people in the park, everybody will be masked. Food service volunteers will be gloved additionally. And we are working with the Maine CDC. So I just actually spoke to them today. So we're working all together and we're feeling pretty confident that we're going to be just fine. That's a great question.
It's a great question. And I'll also add that we have had participants reach out to say, you know what, I thought I would be okay to be local, but I'm changing my mind. I'd rather be global. So if you're hearing from people that there's some hesitation or they're not quite sure, there is another way to participate. And it's going to be really a great way to connect globally with the event, even if people aren't comfortable coming in person.
Yeah, and that goes for your, no, go ahead, Amy.
Sorry, because the start isn't
certain times and everybody's not going to be jammed into a shoot, and you can hesitate, wait and watch for a time when it's not busy. And that's going to change everything from obviously the start, but how everybody gets through the finish and also the food tents. It's not going to be everyone finishing at the same time for the same, the same walk, the same ride.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
that will
And-
bring people out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've got, even though we've got the, 1,600 plus participants, there's a fair chunk of them that aren't planning to come. So, even when we talk about our number of participants, it's not all, like in the past, our number of participants was who we're going to have in the park. And now we've got such a big chunk of folks that aren't planning to be there. So I think you're exactly right, Amy. The way that the environment is structured makes us feel really confident in being able to do this safely. And then the things that we've put in place to protect individuals with masks and hand washing and gloves feels pretty good.
I just put the hand sanitizer order in today. We have all the hand sanitizer. Oh my
I
God.
can't even
I was like,
imagine.
okay. All the hand sanitizer, all the Clorox wipes, all the Clorox spray. That park is never going to have smelled so good. But also I will mention too, because this came up on a call earlier with another LOC member, that message, please spread that message to your volunteers as well. We want them to feel just as safe and comfortable as our participants. And it goes both ways, right? So if we want them to know this is the environment that we're giving, participants will be masked, you will be masked. This is how it's rolling. So make sure people understand that as well on both sides. So thank you for that. Now I will go into the check-in. Joan, John, anything with Roots, or how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Roots are looking good. We finally got it all figured out. We've been around them a couple of times. I'll be going around again probably in 2 weekends from now to make sure that everything's all set. We have all the rest stops secured except for the one in Brunswick. We have a couple of ideas, but we haven't got that one nailed down yet. But we just got the one in Litchfield settled last night. So I think we're in good shape. I am still looking for a couple of staff people though.
Well, Karen has an update, number one.
Yes,
Go
so
ahead,
the
Karen.
Brunswick rest stop is secured with a business called Aging Excellence coming on board to staff that Brunswick rest stop.
But
That's the soccer
the
field.
location, do you have a location?
It's the one that Reed told me we needed.
I guess.
Is it the field?
Well, that's the one we were hoping for, but we hadn't got confirmation on that yet.
Yeah, it's
Well, at
confirmed.
least I haven't.
I rode by it last weekend and it's mowed. It's looking good.
Well, the problem was that they thought that they might be having a soccer match
Right.
Oh, yeah.
during that time, and so that we wouldn't be able to use it. But
right.
I haven't got the latest word. I talked to Chris this morning, or Reed this morning, and he didn't say anything. So Karen, are you saying that location has been secured?
My confusion, no, I don't know
Okay.
about the location. I know about the staffing.
Staffing. Okay.
Okay.
To
We got the
man.
people. We just need the
We got
place
the
now.
people to be in Brunswick. So if they need to be somewhere else in Brunswick, I think they'd be fine, but we have it staffed and sponsored.
Awesome. And I'm hopefully by this weekend, we'll have a location determined.
Fantastic.
Sorry
And now
about
when
that,
you
John,
say-
my confusion.
Okay.
Hey, that's just as important. We need people just like we need the location. So we got 50% of it done. So that's good. Now what were you saying about staffing? What do you need help with?
For the routes and signs, putting the actual signs up.
Okay. Putting signs up. Is that one of our, did we put that up there, Karen? Did we put those volunteer positions up there? Okay.
No, Medalist usually takes care of that. So it's through Medalist. And I'm working on it.
Okay, I'll check in with Chris too and just make sure that we're good, because we had a meeting today with our development committee at the center, and I've had a couple of people say that they have some groups that are interested in volunteering. So anything
Oh.
that you guys have concerns with, just let me know and I'll see what we can do to get things staffed for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Anything else for Roots?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, let's move on to cycling ambassadors. Rod, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy we're in Zoom, because if we're in person, I think Karen would punch me, because I'm going to change my mind again about the bibs. I think, can you just send them? And send me the extra ones, and if someone bails, I'll have the extra ones and I'll get it to them. But I think the best thing at this point is if you please send them, I will make sure that they register as volunteers. I think that's going to be the simplest way to not clog up your customer service tent, because if I have 15 ambassadors showing up there, plus the regular participants, I think you could have a backlog, and I think you could have a crowd there. So is that okay?
I'm fine with whatever you ask me to do, Rod.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You
I'm so
change your
sorry.
mind
I've
as much
changed
as
my
you
mind
need
6
to.
times already, folks. That's why it's just gonna punch me for in person.
I'm not.
Oh, I would. All right, thanks.
No problem.
But
Yeah.
we're good. We're solid now. Thank you.
Mindy and Lisa can help me remember that on Tuesday when we're packing up all the bibs to mail. So
I'll send
And
you an
they
email
have a
too.
special bib. It's gold bib. It says cycling ambassadors on them. You can't miss it. Great.
You want me to send you an
Awesome.
email just as a reminder? I will.
yes,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you very much.
Great. Okay. Oh, where's my agenda right here? Bag and bike. So got the note about potentially shifting that. I will work on that for you. Do you have any other questions about your area or any other concerns?
Caroline just asked about a changing station. Are we still gonna have one of those? Like just that modified porta potty?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. He put it on the map.
perfect. Yeah, I think we're good.
And did you connect with Bob already on the supplies?
I didn't. I thought the email said that you were forwarding that to him, but if not, I can. If you did, he hasn't reached out to me since then.
If you sent it to me, I will send it over. I'm sorry, my brain is mush, and if I can't remember who sent me what at this point. So if you sent it along to me, then it's on his list.
Okay, yeah, I sent something and then Caroline followed up with a Google Excel sheet from the last years, and
Yes.
so
Yes, I remember now. So organized. Yes.
yeah,
Thank
other
you.
than that, I think we should be all good.
Okay, great. Volunteers. I don't think Donna is on, but I wanted to, right? Donna's not on, right? Okay. So volunteers, if you need lists or you want to know kind of where you're at, email Donna. I will send a follow-up email to the whole group just to kind of recap everything, and I'll have Donna's email in there. If you don't know it right now, that's okay. Or you can always go into that Google spreadsheet that I keep sending out with all the LOC information and find Donna in there. But if you need a list of your people or want to know where you're at, or if you want volunteer help from 2019 and you want to know who went to the event in 2019, you can email her and she can get you all of those lists. So just wanted to touch base there. I also wanted to let you know that we are having a volunteer orientation this year via Zoom. We are asking all volunteers to attend that. It's going to be Tuesday, September 21st at 6:30. And we will be using breakout rooms. So if you are attending that, if you attend that Zoom meeting, it's a perfect opportunity to break out and talk to your volunteers that are going to be there that day. So we'll have staff people that will also help with breakout rooms, and we'll kind of have different touch points. I'm going to follow up with an email to the group about who is going to, like, I want to know from this group who's going to be on that volunteer call. That way we can prepare a breakout room for you, and then you will be one-on-one with your group of volunteers. So it's a great opportunity to be able to use technology to kind of touch base with your folks before the event. So just wanted to let you know that. I'll make sure to put all of the links and everything into that email, but that is one thing I'd like to know is if you're going to be there. Otherwise, we'll kind of handle from a high level, and we'll make sure that they know your name and all of that. Okay. Saturday water station, how are we doing? Sue, Neil, are they on? They were on. Oh, Sue's right there. Hi, Sue.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good.
We should be all set with our volunteers. I have a lot of people from work. The last time we did 2019, we actually had a little bit too many.
Okay.
And you know, everybody was trying to hand the water and there was just like too many of them. So now are you going to be doing, is everything still going to be in the same little paper cups, or how are we doing that?
Yes. So volunteers will be handing the cups rather than participants taking the cups, because the
Okay.
volunteers will be gloved. So, yes, the answer is yes. So, and I think it's a great idea to streamline those volunteers. Again, the minimum amount of people it takes to get the job done is good this year for sure. So if you think you're good with volunteers and you don't need an abundance, that's fine. If you have people that show up that you feel like you don't need, you can always send them to the park, and we can use them as part of the festival in the park volunteers or cheer stations at the end of the finish line or something.
Yeah, I just actually got an email, Sue, from somebody who wanted to bring some teenagers as kind of like a community service thing. So hearing that from you today, I'll make sure I let them know that that's not going to work this year for all those reasons, and I will direct them to Festival in the Park. That's helpful.
Yeah, Festival in the Park, and we always need green team help, especially this year for sanitizing tables, like consistently sanitizing tables. So yeah, that would be perfect. Great. Okay, and then in the interest of time, so merch, it will be open 9 to 1, 9 to 5. We have t-shirts, Yetis, and hats available. You will, LOC, you will get a discount in the merch tent as well this year as an LOC member. So I'll make sure to recap that in the email. And then let's see, I will work out a preview time for you guys, because I know that people like to buy merch ahead of time. So I'll work out something. We'll figure something out for, because otherwise it's only open at 9 o'clock on Saturday. So I'll figure out a preview time for you guys, maybe on Friday, if you want to come early and take advantage of that. I will let you know. And then, okay, so beer tent, they're not here, but everything's going really well there. Food and beverage, we're looking good there. We had a great meeting. Amy, I don't think I think we're pretty good at this point, right? Anything else that came up from a half an hour ago? Perfect, great.
My only question was seeing that there were 3 ID check stations. Have enough volunteer slots set up to staff that throughout the weekend.
They have their handpicked volunteers. So they actually do have a link for that, but it's just not on the public facing site.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Nope, it's a handpicked, so they have their own volunteers. Half of it is my family. I recruit my entire family for the beer tent. So yeah, but good catch there. But yeah, they're good to go. Green team, I don't know if Crystal or Jennifer is on, but we meet tomorrow. So I will just put a plug for green team. Again, if you have streamlined your area and you have people that want to volunteer, but maybe you don't have room in your section, we always need green team volunteers, but especially this year for the sanitizing. So if you're connected to any groups, any sports teams, anything at all, where especially a group can come in and kind of help with that effort. The effort as far as the trash in the park and the composting is way less this year. We don't have lobster shells. We don't have all of that ick that comes from the lobster shells and the omelet stations. It's really just kind of simple trash picking up. But really the green team efforts are going to be focused more on sanitizing tables. So any help you can help spread the word there, we will take the green team volunteers for sure. Okay, and then incentive and bibs, there's Mindy and Lisa. So anything there? I know we met this week. I feel like we have a really good solid plan in place. How are you guys feeling?
We'll see you on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So I think we're good, right, Lise? Oh, I thought she was.
We are good.
And then we met and talked about the incentive tent as well, which is going to be really exciting this year, being able to pick up their bigger items. So some folks will be able to pick up sea bags, like Tanika mentioned, the Wicked Good slippers, Fiore joggers, depending on the dates that people have met those fundraising minimums, those fundraising incentive levels. So the tent's going to look stacked this year. It's going to look really fun.
That is young.
Oh, yeah, I think we're good there. Team photo wall, Lori and Joyce. I know we had a couple of emails going back and forth. The form is now open. How are you doing? Are we good? I gave you login information. How are you feeling about that process?
Do we have a photographer yet?
We will have one for you.
Okay.
And from what I saw of the scheduling thing, that looks really cool. The program that I tried downloading that you sent, oh my gosh, froze up my whole computer, crashed,
Oh, no.
everything. I was like, ugh. But as long as I have that, and if I can, like, I can run in on the weekend and print it off or whatever so that I have information, I should be good with that.
Okay, great. Yeah. And Joyce, I gave my login information too, because I can only have 2 admins. So I have me and I put Lori on, but use
That's
my
fine.
login too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we should be good to go. So just a little, we'll touch base further, but if you have any more issues, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay,
And is that sign up going to be in the participant newsletter this week?
It sure is. Yep. Yeah. And can you, and we'll have that on the team captain call as
Well, that's
well.
not until like the night before or the
Okay.
Wednesday of.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do it before then.
Maybe Karen, we talk about maybe a specific communication from you to the team captains. I just don't want them to miss it. Maybe do something like that. Okay, great. Let's do that. Let's plan on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Anything else from anybody else on the call today that I haven't called out specifically? Any other questions?
Can you just
Before I go into
repeat
my final
the date and
announcements.
time for the Zoom call for the volunteer meeting? Is it the
September
21st?
21st, Tuesday at 6:30. And if you
Okay.
go on to the event schedule, if you forget or lose that little note that you're writing down somewhere, it's right on the website. You can go to the event schedule. It'll be right in there.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, just a few last minute announcements so we can go. There's been a lot of information on this call, but I feel like we're doing good. I feel like we're getting a lot of information and, you know, we're still in a reasonable amount of time. So this is good. Let's go to announcements. Okay. Today is the deadline for any supplies that you need for your area. So please, if you haven't yet, and a couple of people asked me this question, you might have an area that doesn't need supplies, so don't worry. But if you need pens, anything from pens, Post-it notes, staplers, number of tables, number of chairs, like anything that you can give to me about what you think I need tonight, please. I think we pretty much have a good handle on all of the different areas. But like, for instance, and maybe you're taking care of it on your own. For instance, Joyce and Lori, maybe you have plans for like a clipboard already or something like that. But if you need that, let me know. Okay. Let me know
I have
tonight.
plenty of clipboards, pens and supplies that I have from doing the 510K anyways, and a table.
Perfect.
So
Okay. Yeah. Can you just, if you're thinking of having some supplies from a previous area, just let me know. That way we know we're pulling it from storage. I think everything's going to be pulled.
no, it's not from
anyway.
storage. It's stuff that I had purchased myself that
Oh.
I keep here.
Perfect.
So,
So-
and I've got a stockpile of pens and clipboards, and so
Okay.
I can actually bring them if somebody else needs them.
Okay. Great. Okay, next. Lisa made masks for LOC. They have Dempsey Challenge and LOC on one side. Joyce also made Dempsey Challenge masks for staff. So we are going to be so blinged out in our Dempsey Challenge masks. So thank you guys so much for that. They're fantastic. So we'll set up, if you want one of those masks, go into, I've made a mask column go into the mask column and say, why? I will put this in the email, but just so we know who we need to get, and we'll coordinate that with the pickup of the staff shirts for that, at volunteer check-in. Yes. Yes, Mindy. Oh, you're on mute, honey.
Sorry.
That's
There's
okay.
two sizes that we made, medium and large.
Okay, so I will put that in the spreadsheet and you can just write medium or large so we can get an idea.
And I think we're gonna put little beads on the backs of the drawstrings so the elastic will
Oh,
adjust.
you guys are awesome. That's great. So we'll all have branded masks. Yay. Thank you both. Lisa's not, oh yeah, Lisa is that John? Maybe, I don't know.
The staff
Yeah.
is really excited too. When Danica announced it on Tuesday, I got a ton of emails. I want one, I want one, I want one. I want
Yeah,
one.
Joyce, I wore it on the staff meeting and showed them and everybody was freaking out. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome. And if anybody else wants them personalized like I did for you, just let me know.
You're a fan. I know. I was like, I got my name on it. It's awesome.
Heck yeah.
So
I'm excited that people will know who I am underneath this. If I have
Yeah, that's one good thing.
That's so cool. The next call out I have is just an ask. So for our grab and go kind of setup for the food and beverage area, we're looking to source 8 to 10 large coolers. So if anybody has a cooler that we can borrow for the weekend, we're asking people to drop them off right at the park Wednesday or Thursday. And put masking tape on it with your name and phone number. And you can just bring them right to the park Wednesday or Thursday, and you can ask for Emily or Mel who'll be there on Wednesday, Thursday, or Bob or whatever medalist crew you see kind of walking around, and tell them it's for the food and beverage tent. But we really could use help sourcing 8 to 10 large coolers. I think I have one, but that's, yeah. So if you've got a large cooler, let me know and that you're going to drop it off, and I will be on the lookout for you. So thank you for that. 2 more things. We are looking, if there's anybody available on Saturday and Sunday morning, it shouldn't be too early of a morning. We'll know more about times, but we are looking for a volunteer to pick up an order at Sam's Italians on Main Street, the one that's kind of right near the park. We're looking for somebody to kind of pick up sandwiches and deliver them to the park on Saturday and Sunday morning. So if you're available, or if somebody you know is available, that would be easy enough to kind of go do, let us know. That was one of the positions we're kind of looking for, so we don't have to use medalist to do that. And then the last thing I have is, after the event is done, Monday comes, we are going to have our LOC/medalist celebration. Yay, we survived Dempsey Challenge 2021 and all of its chaos and loveliness. And it's going to be 4 to 6. Right now, I believe it's going to be at Gritty's. I'm still hashing out the details, but I at least want you guys to like slot it in there. 4 to 6 at Gritty's, and we will be the only ones there because they're normally closed on Monday. So we'll have beer, other soda, water, and a ton of appetizers that we will take care of and just celebrate together. And I guess I caveat that if you want something fancier from the bar, I guess you're on your own. But we will be doing beer, appetizers, and other soda, water type things. But yes, Monday, 4 to 6. And that's going to feel so good. Okay. 7:10. That's not too bad. That was a lot of information. I'm 10 minutes over. Any questions? Okay. I'll wait for 1 second in case somebody needs to unmute. Okay. Fantastic. If you do, you know where to find me, which is basically right here, at least 16 hours a day. So don't feel bad for reaching out. Please reach out. That's what I'm here for. Reach out to Karen as well. She's other great resource. If for whatever reason I'm taking forever, hit her up. She'll help me.
Except Rod. he's used up his Ask Karen for the,
I'm overwhelmed by the number of tabs you have open, Danica. Holy crap.
Oh, am I still screen
Overwhelmed.
sharing? I'm not, am I?
Not earlier, I could see
Oh.
that you had like,
Oh,
10
Rod,
tabs open.
that is in control right now. It gets real dark sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know how you do it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate each and every one of you. We could not do this without you. And I'm getting really excited. I'm getting
next time we see you all.
Yes. Except for Mindy and Lisa, which we'll see on Tuesday. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We will see you soon. And I'll send out the recap email with all of this information I just dumped on you. Have a great night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everyone.
Oh, there's my son.
Thank you.
Bye.